Where businesses should be putting their money and their investment is where they can have a competitive differentiation. And right now, that mostly involves one thing. What data do you have that is proprietary that you can leverage to enable either new capabilities, new product features, cost reductions, automations, and predictive trending recommendations, things like that.
Business leaders are struggling. The folks that I talk to, right, privately in their vulnerable moments, doesn't matter whether we're talking Fortune 500 C-suite or, the director that just got hired into their new marketing job. They're struggling with uncertainty and, kind of inability to predict the future. How do we as an industry help folks think about navigating this change? Because there's powerful new tools. I will say that, I think there's still a very significant gap between what we understand they should be capable of and what actually kind of, comes out in practical use. But there's very powerful tools. It's changing very, very quickly. What do we do?
That's a great question. And if not to exaggerate, but I would say with all, seriousness, that's literally why we exist as a company, as KUNGFU.AI. And it's really not that complicated in the grand scheme of things. It's a few things. One, when you are thinking about investing in AI, don't go reinvent the wheel. If you're trying to build a language model, use something off the shelf. There are amazing open source things. And if you need them to do something special, like in a narrow domain, great. We can fine tune them. There are things like RAG that can help with hallucinations. So first off, don't go reinvent the wheel. Number two, there are companies out there with products that are really, really good. And as long as those products can solve your need, just pay for it. Go pay for ChatGPT, right? If you need to do OCR, just go pay for the API that's there. Where businesses should be putting their money and their investment is where they have where they can have a competitive differentiation. And right now, that mostly involves one thing. What data do you have that is proprietary that you can leverage? And there's many ways you can do this, but that you can leverage that data to enable either new capabilities, new product features, cost reductions, automations, and predictive trending recommendations, things like that. It's all about your own proprietary data. And that's the beautiful thing about this moment in AI, where 10 years ago, even if you had proprietary data and you wanted to use it, it was going to be expensive because you essentially had to start from scratch. Now it doesn't matter what you're doing. There are incredibly powerful models out there that you can use as the basis for that. And you can fine tune them, customize them, do whatever you need to do on your own data. And then the last thing I would say is there are real needs, and I think this is going to be for the foreseeable future, for what I call domain-specific AIs. That means, I'll give you an example. We built a system that can predict breast cancer 5 years in advance, a computer vision system. Can do one thing. That's all it can do. But there's nothing else in the world that can do that. And there are unlimited number of opportunities like that for businesses to go and innovate and provide superhuman capabilities that you can't get ChatGPT or Claude or any of these other, language models.
You're making, I think, two really interesting points here. Like the first one, and this is going to sound a little dismissive, but I don't mean it to be, actually, because I think it's so pure and important in its simplicity, is don't reinvent the wheel. Like this is like innovation trap 101. If you're not an expert at building and training models, why bother, right? But but it is really important to remember in today's world. We have a lot of companies that have, a lot of in-house staff and engineers who are curious and would love to learn and build this stuff. But so don't reinvent the wheel. But the second point that you made, look at the thing that you have, data, and look at these painful, maybe point problems or point solutions that are just hard and maybe maybe you can do something kind of magical today.
That's exactly right. And it's really funny. I think saying don't reinvent the wheel is a perfect summary, but there is so much pressure right now. I talk to CEOs
Oh, yeah.
and CTOs all the time who say something just short of this. Hey, can you give me some AI? And I will say, well, what do you need? And they'll go, I don't care. I just need some AI. The board is going to eat me alive.
Well, and I think, so look, I see and hear that as well. And I think that actually really speaks, though, to this theme of like uncertainty, fear, like we don't know what to
Right.
do. So right now, that is a reactive statement. That is like, I need to show that I am, keeping up with the market,
Yes.
which is just harder than ever to do. But you do want to go beyond that, right? Anybody can throw up a branded interface into a chatbot on their website, or anybody can, say, oh, hey, great, I deployed GitHub Copilot across my engineering team. We have AI.
Right. That's right.
But I like what you were saying about, maybe get that out of the way so you get the pressure off your back. And then you say, what asset do we have in what is often usually our proprietary data? And what is a point problem that maybe we can see if we can do 10x better?
That's right. And in fact, some people may think that I'm being dramatic. If you're not getting at least a 10x ROI on whatever AI initiative you're looking at, don't consider it. And the reason is there's so much low-hanging fruit right now. Most companies have done almost nothing.
So that is interesting. That is an argument for try fast, fail fast, try fast, fail fast. The world, it's the world of startups and entrepreneurship in-house. But like it's an argument that you will find something. Don't get stuck, right?
Don't get stuck. Don't just throw 100 projects at the wall. Well, another thing that's really a little bit of a slippery slope that people have to understand is unlike traditional software, modern AI is probabilistic. And so we'll see people who will go do their first AI project and they'll say like, oh, we got to 60% accuracy in the first week. And they're like, how long could this possibly take? It gets really, really tricky going.
If you need 5 nines, you're in a different world.
Exactly. I mean, and it is just really, really difficult. Look at all the advancements we had with self-driving cars. It looked like in 2018, you wouldn't need a driver's license in 2020. Well, it's 2025. Nipping every corner case is really, really, really difficult. So don't underestimate the complexity, but at the same time, don't do anything that doesn't give you differentiated value. And that's all predicated on your data. And I have to say one more thing, which is we see this all the time where companies have a very, very clear initiative that they could attack. It would be differentiated and they have the expertise, but they weren't collecting the data, or they collected the data and they threw it away, or the data's there, but it's fragmented and only some of it was collected. Or they actually—
Well, that's everyone. That's every organization I've ever worked in.
It's everywhere. And so, that old saying about like the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. Second best time is today. Yeah. Go analyze your AI opportunities. Go look at your data. What's the reality of your data? And if it's not there, but you have big initiatives that you want to go after, that's fine. Start getting your data in-house situation under control now, and then you can go attack these in a year or 2 or 3.
I actually love that, right? Like, I think it's so important to remember that, when you have your base infrastructure, when you have the platform in place, whatever you want to say, you can, build out the solutions. And the problem is that's kind of the unsexy stuff, right? What's sexy is the customer facing, the investor facing, the something deployment. But luckily a lot of, most organizations have the ability to allocate capital and resources against future benefit.